I want to dig into the bank specifically off the back of this and talk about the idea of maturity transformation. ECB President Draghi was talking about it a little bit earlier. If you rely on that, you've got a problem, haven't you, because the yield curve is so flat. Do you see that situation improving for the very, very basic banks that take deposits and then lend them out?
Not really. I think that the problem with the global banking system is that it's undercapitalized. As we look back, the recapitalization of the US banks after the crisis, firstly under the George W. Bush administration and completed under President Obama, has been a masterstroke, actually. It's left the US with a well-capitalized banking system. Unfortunately, the rest of the world didn't do that. And that's one of the main weaknesses. That's why very easy monetary policy is not having the stimulatory effect that people expected.
So you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place if you're, say, a Deutsche Bank, because on the one hand you want to simplify the business, but you're up against it because once you do that, you're going to struggle to make money anyway. And on the other hand, you're going to have to raise more capital. Do you think they're going to have to raise more capital, regardless of what happens with the DOJ fine?
They absolutely need to raise more capital, and they're not the only European bank who does. Around a year ago, was it Barclays and Credit Suisse started raising some capital. I thought that might be the beginning of sanity for European banks. With the first quarter market turmoil, it didn't get followed through on. And I think that's actually not only bad for the European banking sector, it's the main reason I am less optimistic about the European economy than I am about the US. Brexit is important, but I think the undercapitalization of the banking system is also pretty important for the negative side on the European economy.
Strategically, if you're a long-term investor, you want to invest in a company and you know what the strategy is, what they're trying to become, what should these banks become? I understand what Credit Suisse will become. It's what they used to be. It's like UBS, Barclays. Jess Staley's come out and said we're going to be a transatlantic bank, and that's great. You go for it. For the Deutsche Banks of this world, what do they become?
Well, Deutsche Bank, when you look at its business, it's not a huge lender. It's actually trying to be a kind of European Goldman Sachs. If that's what it's about, they should really focus on that, because as we know from the development of US investment banks and US retail banks, the two are not necessarily very compatible businesses. I think that you're right. They should decide what they want to be. You know, UBS, Credit Suisse could be the world's best wealth managers if they'd focus on it. Deutsche Bank could be a European competitor in investment banking, but they've got to slim down their business models, get focused and do it.